present results that are from students also, so that we present a bit the different students that are working on mycorrhizae in this network. My idea was also to introduce you to the larger question I'm working on how below-ground interaction could modulate species migration and establishment in a case of climate change, in the situation of climate change. And we've studied a peculiar case, and you'll see that indeed it's pretty interesting to have a peculiar case, and here it's the balsam fir. So it's a study where we present part of the results of Mélisande, but Nagati was co-supervised by Annie Desrochers, Monique Garde, and Yves Bergeron. Oh. So to be back in the topic of mycorrhizae, yesterday you had some conferences on ectomycorrhizal fungi. So if you're not into mycorrhizae, there are different kinds of fungi interacting with trees. And I consider Basidiomycota, or at least Ascomycota, the fungi that are typically making a fruiting body. And some are symbiotic, so they interact and make a mutualism with tree roots. And I would consider only ectomycorrhizal fungi that are interacting with Spinaceae, Fagaceae, Betulaceae, so most trees that are dominant in boreal and temperate forests. And here I've plotted a map from Steidinger where we see the distribution of this symbiosis, plant-food symbiosis. In blue, those are the ectomycorrhizal fungi and symbiosis. And we see that they are indeed dominant in this habitat. And more recently, we have now data from soil that show since 5 years that indeed even the fungi themselves, the mycelium is hyper diverse and abundant in boreal soils. So we have these maps, and now we can wonder how it may evolve with climate change. And one big question for trees is how far this symbiosis would disperse, because indeed the trees might disperse, and there is a lot of simulation about tree dispersal, but we don't know anything about fungi. And indeed, one thing I wanted to share is that there is very, very few cases of co-migration between trees and fungi. We only know one case in the tropics, but except from this, we have no idea of co-dispersal. There are recent clues that show that birds, mammals could be taxi driver for fungal spores, and that may help plant regeneration, but it's really peculiar case. So indeed, the big question is how far the distribution of fungi may limit tree species migration. And I wanted to show you one important results recently acquired by John Peter in Northern America. Indeed, he tested on past migration, on past data, if the symbiosis type was influencing the distribution area of species. And so he was hypothesizing that ectomycorrhizal fungi might restrict the range of distribution of species and their ability to migrate. And indeed, it's not completely true, because we see that, for example, Fagus, Alnus were quite able to migrate to the north and to change in area of distribution. So it might be more a species case than something related to all ectomycorrhizal fungi. So that's why looking at peculiar case might be interesting. And we studied with Mélisande Nagati, and so with Yves and Annie and Monique, the case of balsam fir. So what Mélisande did, indeed, she studied the case of balsam fir because they are increasing in numbers and then in the boreal forest, in the black spruce domain. So they are increasing in number. And we see from the work from Arbour and Bergeron that they are increasing, especially in aspen stands, not that much under black spruce. So this observation made by Yves and colleagues indeed led us to imagine the processes behind. And what we thought when looking at these patches that were really close together, so aspen stands in black spruce forest, and when seeing that just the young firs were regenerating better under the aspen, we thought that perhaps ectomycorrhizae may explain this pattern. Indeed, we know that shared ectomycorrhizae might promote indeed facilitation. We know it from Mediterranean habitats, from truffle trees, and so on. And so the basic question we ask is whether the distribution of ectomycorrhizae was homogeneous or not. Perhaps heterogeneity in their distribution might explain these patterns of regeneration. Perhaps also they have a really important impact on growth, and then in that case, depending on their mycorrhization, young fir might indeed grow better or not. And finally, we wonder whether this effect of the canopy that we suspect in this is really linked to ectomycorrhizae, or are there some independence between the two? So we tested these three, three hypotheses, and first we investigated the heterogeneity in distribution of ectomycorrhizal fungi. And so we expected that ectomycorrhizal fungi would show local differences in distribution and in diversity. So to do this, we did environmental sequencing, so for targeting the ITS1, which is a barcode for fungi. And so we targeted two horizons, mineral and organic horizons. So you see an example of sampling, and sequenced all fungi together. So for those who are not familiar with environmental sequencing, we have all the sequences, and then through bioinformatic analysis, we remove the contaminants, we try to remove the chimeras, and we end with a lot of what we call OTUs, so operational taxonomic units, that are species for fungi, circa at least. And we have, for the 4 sites we studied, so 4 pairs of sites, we had circa 1,000 species of fungi, which is reasonable. It's high, but reasonable for this kind of study. And indeed, nearly half of these samples were of these species were unknown, and that's also typical for boreal forest. Tropical also, but boreal are particularly interesting for this. And among the families, I've just represented the families here, we had a lot of Tricholomathaceae, Russulaceae, Cortinariaceae, Telephoraceae. All those star families are ectomycorrhizal. So they are indeed abundant, but not dominant. You know, we didn't find a high dominance of ectomycorrhizae indeed. What we saw, to answer our question also, is that indeed, depending on the canopy between the plots that are under black spruce, here under black spruce, here under trembling aspen, we had big differences in distribution, in composition of community. We had also differences between mineral soil and organic soil. So it looks like in terms of composition, there were big differences, but not that much in alpha diversity. There were as many OTUs in all environment. And so this was for all fungi together, but for ectomycorrhizal fungi, the answer was a bit less clear, but still we had no difference in alpha diversity, and rather a change in terms of community, a bit less clear between mineral and organic soil. So to answer the first question, we had ectomycorrhizae everywhere, under aspen, under black spruce. So we had no idea where it was more favorable for young firs. So that's why in a second time, we studied the young firs. So looking at mycorrhizae, sampling mycorrhizae, making the same environmental sequencing on roots, and also following some plant traits. And so the first result we had was really similar in terms of diversity of OTUs. And what we saw is that all young firs had ectomycorrhizae in every habitat, but the communities were a bit different. For example, with more trembling aspen, with more Inocidaceae or Telephoraceae under trembling aspen. That was the lonely family, the lonely difference in family. But in terms of community composition, there were kind of big differences, a bit like in the soil, finally. We saw first that black spruce, and especially stands with a lot of Ericaceae, had a different community composition compared to trembling aspen. And the interesting thing is that it was related to the nitrogen in needles. So indeed, there were some apparently some effect of the community on the plant growth, the plant traits, at least in terms of composition. And when making a path analysis, we realized that indeed the percent of black spruce or the black spruce canopy had a negative impact on the number of mycorrhizae, also the needles, nitrogen in needles. So we had pretty negative impact of the black spruce. We did not detect really a positive impact of trembling aspen, except that the communities, so here represented here, the communities had a positive impact on the nitrogen in needles and finally in growth. So to summarize here, we had pretty positive impact through ectomycorrhizal communities on the nitrogen and possibly a negative impact under the Ericaceae. And to confirm this interaction ex situ, so we did a growth chamber experiments where we tried to distinguish, to disentangle the effect of stand, the effect of mineral and organic layer, which was a bit confusing, and then the effect of ectomycorrhizae by making a sterilization. So it was all fungi, but we focused on the mycorrhizae by observation on the roots. And what we observed is that indeed, under trembling aspen, there were more mycorrhizae. So you can see here in terms of number of apices. In general, there were more ectomycorrhizae under trembling aspen. And it was particularly clear under organic layer, there were more ectomycorrhizae and in non-sterile condition. So at least for the mycorrhizae, they were well responding to this experiment. But the interesting thing is that on the other parameters, on the growth parameters, on height and so on, there were no such a big effect of trembling aspen. So it was much more on the ectomycorrhizae. That's true. And indeed, when we analyzed all the parameters together, we realized that indeed it was perhaps independent from the canopy, but the number of ectomycorrhizal root tips was more related to height, to the dry weight, but it was not related here to the nitrogen, which would have been expected, and it's something we discussed yesterday with Franck Berninger. So that might be something different. So indeed, in this ex situ experiment, what we saw is that we observed a positive effect of ectomycorrhizae, but it was not perhaps completely related with aspen. And however, we observed that indeed the fir growing under black spruce had a lot of nitrogen in needles compared to our in situ measurement. We still detected a negative effect of ericaceae, by the way. So to summarize, indeed, we have clearly something positive with all the 3 experiments from under aspen, clearly negative when black spruce is associated with a lot of ericaceae, but when there was no ericaceae, or at least no ledon, the effect was not that much negative. So we have still open question on this, notably about the N sources available for these young firs. It might be different, and indeed there was a PhD about this. It might be different under the 2 stands. And the difference between in situ and ex situ experiments also opened some question about indeed the relationship between the canopy and the ectomycorrhizae, and especially about the importance of possibly shared ectomycorrhizal fungi. So indeed, yesterday we had big discussion about these shared fungi and whether we had a ponytail, like a little pony view of ectomycorrhizae. But that's true that indeed we observe in many habitats that being shared might indeed have impacts. So we evocated the work of Suzanne Simard, who's investigated, in fact, how far big trees may favor the younger trees. In this case, in the case of balsam fir, we consider the facilitation by aspen toward young fir that might involve indeed shared ectomycorrhizae. So that's something we are trying to test now with Mélisande Nagati and Yves also, trying to make experiments on this, but it's something we also try to develop and will develop with Evic Mestre. It's something we will develop also with Alexandre Rimbaud in the south of France. That might be a common phenomenon, but for the moment, we don't have so many clues in a lot of habitats. And the other things, perspective I try to also to develop with a lot of students also is not only to look at shared ectomycorrhizae through the fluxes or the benefits they have in terms of growth, but also through the networks and the multi-species interaction they could build. For example, in this study where I was not involved, and it's not a Melanie bias toward fungi, but it was done in the Alps, and indeed at the center of the networks, ectomycorrhizal fungi, symbiotic fungi were. So I was pretty happy to discuss these results, but indeed that's true, they are highly connected, and not only to plants, you see here it's toward bacteria or saprobes. So there are a lot of connection, and indeed Irène Calderon-Sanou may present, I hope, next year, the results acquired in northern Quebec about these networks, or perhaps in other habitats. So I didn't check my time, but to finish about these perspectives, I would like to show you that indeed this knowledge on boreal forest can be applied to a lot of projects. Indeed, at least this interest for shared mycorrhizae and how far they may favor the growth, for example, in case of regeneration. And indeed, the matrice of Soupoun, co-supervised by Philippe Marchand, Nicole Fenton, is also aiming at detecting the effect of shared ectomycorrhizae. And it might not necessarily build a network as Suzanne Simard intend, but it might be, for example, transmitting just mycorrhizae, such as the nurse effect we detect. And that's something we're studying in BT site, where indeed there is a lot of trees regenerating. It's also something we study in old growth forest. So yesterday I was reacting whenever there was a talk about old and ancient forest, and also with Mélanie Saulnier. Indeed, through different results I have acquired, notably with Antoine Brun, we have more and more clues that in old and old growth or ancient forest, the soil might be extremely favorable to ectomycorrhizal fungi. They are clearly dominant in the Carpathian Mountain, in the Cévennes. And so with Antoine Brun, we have begun studying the landscape of ecology, the consequence of this hotspot of ectomycorrhizal fungi for the landscape. So we did it in the Cévennes National Park, and it did so that the fact that the quantity of ancient forest was high in the landscape may favor the diversity of ectomycorrhizal fungi. And the important thing is that this effect was at a short scale. You can see here the importance of the effect of the habitat quantity, so ancient forest quantity in a radius. So we see that, for example, for ectomycorrhizae, it was in a radius of 1 kilometer, which is short compared to their dispersal ability. So ancient forests may benefit to their surroundings. And on the other hand, we realized that was more an effect of the ancient landscape than the actual landscape and the quantity of actual forest. So that's really a result showing that how landscape ecology can inform about the pattern of diversity of ectomycorrhizal fungi. So if I speak about all of these things, is to give you a clearer view about how far we have limitation or facilitation in case of migration of ectomycorrhizal fungi and ectomycorrhizal symbiosis. Indeed, what you have learned from this result is that we have a lot of ability. The young firs, for example, are really able to recruit local fungi. They were always with mycorrhizae, with different kind of mycorrhizae, adapting to different fungi, and reciprocally, indeed, fungi were adapted and able to share this association. So we have a lot of generalism, which may be a key adaptation for migrating. On the other hand, very locally, we realize that we have sometimes networks that are really extremely connected, involving ectomycorrhizae. So that might be an act in another sense, in another direction, and promote maybe resilience. And that's why also old growth forests might be a good example to study resilience. And finally, because we have this perhaps resilient hotspot, we see also that there are consequences for the landscape. So that's true that with ectomycorrhizae, we always study really local interactions, but indeed the consequences might be more globally. And that might be important to understand also how fragmentation might also be might also interact with the migration. Indeed, fragmentation might also fragilize some of these symbiosis, and that's something studied by Alexandre Rimbaud. So that's it. I would like to thank a lot of people, but also in Canada, my spiritual thoughts are for people at the forêt à la FERD, d'enseignement et de recherche du lac du Parquet, with Daniel and Marie and so on, and people that are welcoming all the time and giving a lot of passion to share their place and their work. So thanks a lot, and I'm okay for questions.
There's already one question. First of all, Melanie, that was an amazing presentation and lots of positivity. So then Adon was wondering, did you think that we can explore the paleofungi communities from lake sediments using barcoding, meta-barcoding, notably at the beginning of the afforestation processes?
Yeah, indeed, yes. So it's something I began to discuss with Ludovic Orlando, who just arrived in Toulouse. And that's true that there is a lot of contaminants, and it's always difficult to know if we are in the past or not. So he developed some skills to be able to have an idea of the level of méthylisation de l'ADN, so that we know if it's really in the past or not. But it's possible. Myself, I had projects in the tropics working with with archaeologists at least. So there were a lot of turnover, but we tried also to see at least the relation with ancient layers and actual fungal diversity. But that would be indeed really interesting. And there are papers from Pierre Taberlet already testing this kind of method on all sediments.
Sang-Hyun has also a question. Have you considered including mushrooms to enhance your fungi research?
What do you mean, including mushrooms? You mean the fruiting bodies? What do you mean, Sang-Hyun? Okay, but indeed, so I did not point it in the boreal forest, because that's true that I pick the mushroom, but I didn't work on it in the boreal forest. But in the tropics, where we have we were really missing a lot of reference data on the species, and there is a lot, like 1/4 of the specimens are new species. I do work on the fruiting body, and indeed it has a big impact. So if you want to see the research, I did a conference last week just about mushrooms and even edible ones from French Guiana, if you're interested in.
Are there any